Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to Heroes Always Welcome. You know, I love veterans, and this is our veteran centric show where we highlight, spotlight veterans who are in business or in charity or doing great things in the community. I'm here with my co host, the one and only Enrique Acosta González with Triad Leadership Solutions. And our special guest today is my friend Joseph Griffin, the tax deed wolf. We're going to learn about his journey, his military journey, and his transition out into civilian life and learn all things about tax deeds. So, welcome back, Enrique. Well, actually, both of you, welcome back. How are you today?
Doing
Doing
good,
well.
brother. Just happy to be here and looking forward to the conversation with Joseph.
Me too. Me too. All right. So, before we get Joseph, we're going to spend our whole time talking about you. Enrique, tell them a little bit about you and Triad Leadership Solutions.
Well, I'm Enrique Acosta Gonzalez, Triad Leadership Solution. I am the CEO. We focus on developing leaders within your company so that they're the type of leaders you like to retain. So that's all in a, in a ball of wax of what I'm doing.
I love it. And Enrique is also a veteran, obviously, and he has graciously agreed to join me as the co-host or host, actually, of the show. So we have Joseph Griffin. He's an old friend. I just found out he moved, so I'm a terrible friend, Joseph. But tell them a little bit about you. Let's start in the beginning, a little origin story about you, and then we'll talk about what you're doing now, and of course, your military service.
Awesome. So let me first off, thanks for having me, Ted, Enrique. Love being around like-minded individuals, even if it's virtual. You know. So excuse me. So started off New Orleans, Louisiana. Hurricane Katrina came. I was all over the place. I finally ended up in Georgia. From Georgia, joined the military at 17. Joined the Army Reserves, and as soon as I graduated high school, I was out. They sent me to Fort Sill, Oklahoma for basic training. Sent me to 68 Whiskey medic school at the time, and then did really good on my scores. Did really good on everything. Right, how you do anything is how you do everything. And then they sent me to nursing school. LPN school to be exact. Then somewhere along the times doing a couple of tours, did OEF 1314, went and got my RN license. Just by going to school at Daytona State and just trying to take online classes whenever I could. Finally got my RN license, and then from there, shoot, I kind of did a slow transition into real estate investing. Bought my first property 2014. I was 21 years old right after I got back from Afghanistan. Used my VA loan, no money down, negotiated all that with the seller, just got the keys to the house. Still own that house today, like
I love it.
200 something thousand in equity in that thing. So yeah,
Wow.
just awesome.
First of all, the I just did the math on when you graduated, and so I'm feeling extra old right at this moment. Um, so talk about so RN. So that explains a lot about your demeanor. You're very calm. So I think nursing requires that. Any kind of medical profession, really, but nurses especially. Uh, Tell me about your service. You're a medic, and I heard you say military police either before we went live or just a minute ago.
Yeah, so I was a medic, and when you're young, you just want all the smoke. I wanted to deploy so bad after basic training. I was like, send me, send me, send me. I was volunteering for things. I didn't get sent anywhere. So I finally found a unit that was willing to send me to Afghanistan with them. And the only caveat was they didn't have a medic slot. So they were like, look, if you reclass to military police, you go 31 Bravo, I believe it was, or it might still be 31 Bravo. But they were like, if you reclass, then we'll send you. And I was like, well, guess what? You're sending me. I'm reclassing. So I went to the school really quick, and it was like a month long or something. They fast tracked me through the course, and sure enough, in 2013, I ended up deploying, and they used me as a medic still, but I also had that classification as a military police. So I'm not gonna lie, I loved it at the time. I was crazy.
I would imagine. I have a friend who was military police, so I don't ever mess with her, as calm as she is. Tell me about the RN and nursing. So, did you transition out and went right into nursing and then dabbled in real estate, or how did that transition out occur?
So I was Army Reserves, and then I switched to Florida National Guard to actually go to that deployment. So when I got back, I was doing, my one weekend a month at, drill, and I was also nursing full time. So I not initially I was only an LPN, so I actually started off in hospice, and that's why I'm so calm, right? I was around people who were dying all the time. Death like really didn't phase me anymore. Eventually got into the hospital finally after graduating from Daytona State with my RN. So once I got in the hospital, very, very quickly, because of my demeanor, like I said, how you do anything is how you do everything, pretty much excelled rather quickly, and ended up becoming assistant manager of the ICU in Advent Health New Smyrna Beach. So throughout, that journey, just did my thing, and I still didn't like it. I love nursing, don't get me wrong, but somewhere along the way I got tired of being on someone else's time, and I wanted my own time. And I wanted more money too. What do we typically do as Americans for more money? We work more hours. And I just didn't quite agree with that. So I was like, how am I gonna get more time and more money? And I saw all the millionaires, all the billionaires, they were investing in real estate. And I was like, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. And that's exactly what we did.
So on the
Amazing.
realist, go ahead, Enrique.
Yeah, no, amazing. And you brought up a point prior to this, the importance of knowing opportunity even when it's not there, right? You wanted to go to the war zone. They facilitated that, but you had to give up this nursing thing for the moment and get into the police force, and then it opened the doors. You still did the nursing thing, in ground, and that's amazing how you were able to see that opportunity, but go for it. As similar to this real estate thing, right? You're in nursing now. It's not moving you anymore, and now you're figuring out, hey, real estate is where it's at, and you weren't afraid, and that's wonderful.
I agree. I think that's a testament. I also think there's a lot of people who have that passion but don't take that next step. And you were willing to take the risk because it is a risk. It's something scary. People are afraid to take steps. So they see people like you, and they're like, God, I'd love to be like Joseph. I know it, and yet they don't have it. They don't have the resources or the power from within to do it. So real estate investing, talk about that because that's a passion. And then I want to talk specifically about tax deeds. People talk about real estate investing all the time. They talk about generational wealth. It's a way to leave a legacy, all of those things. And you're living that right now. And you're also preaching that right
Yeah, definitely. So it's kind of like you said before. I like how you said they don't have the. You kind of said something about they don't have it within,
now. Power
because
within.
we do, right. We all have it. We just don't exercise it, and a lot of people are just very very scared to get out of their comfort zone because we all want to be comfortable. So for me, it was a matter of that mindset because that was number one. There was no way I was gonna start. How was I gonna become a millionaire if I was scared to spend money?
Mhm.
Right. So that was the first step. You got to buy the asset and then it appreciates, then you do your value add. So you can't be scared. Right. So I started making myself uncomfortable, Ted. That's literally what it was. I'm scared to travel nurse. Scared. I was super scared. But what did I do? I applied anyway. I did it. I jumped out there. It's scary as hell, but I did it. I didn't really like swimming that much, Ted. What did I do? I started swimming more. I got my butt out there in those dark lakes and just went and did my thing, right? So it doesn't even have to be the task at hand, but you have to get in a habit of making yourself uncomfortable. We don't have to jump into a tub of snakes or anything if you fear snakes, but there are some small things we can do to as human beings to get ourselves out of our comfort zones. And that's what it was for me. Overseas, my squad leader told me about tax deeds. And at the time, I was like, oh man, this sounds like illegal. It sounds very illegal. How? And
It does sound that way. You're not wrong.
but after looking into it, I was watching videos. There was this one individual at the hospital I was working at. His family had been doing this for generations, and he was telling me a little, hey, this is what you do, this is where you go. And he's like, this was New Smyrna Beach, so we're in Volusia County. He's like, yeah, you go to volusia.realtaxdeed.com. They hold auctions at least once a month. You get in there, you find the list, and you find the property. And so he's coaching me through it, and I do it. I get my first one, $3,000, I believe. And then I got another one for 1900. And then I also used my VA loan for the second time, Ted, and got another house with no money down. I had 3 properties within a span of 30 days, and I had used less than $6,000, right? Less than $6,000, 3 properties. So I ended up, these were empty land parcels, the first two. I flipped those. I made like a $12,000 profit on one, and just 2,000 on the other one, but it was still good. I had made more than I made as a nurse that month. And I was like, wow, what the heck am I doing sitting at this nursing station if I can really scale this business? So one thing that he didn't teach me, that to sum all this up, is that I could also use OPM, other people's money, to do this. And so here I am getting coached by someone who was doing one of these like every year or two, because he would rehab the properties himself. I was like, I could do a lot more. So I built this team, got these contractors, started working on my credit, start getting business credit, start turning these business credit cards, using those to purchase, and then purchase the rehab, flipping properties. And then here we are today, 33 doors, short-term rentals, long-term rentals. I'm under contract, Ted, right now for 2 apartment complexes, each 12 units, so 24 more units. And that was really just understanding the game of Monopoly. The bank hands out the money. Why are we as Americans trying to roll the dice so we can pass go a million times and collect $200? And I was like, that's not how it works. I need to get in a position to just get this money. And that's what we did. And we focused that into tax deed investing because it's a lot cheaper. And that's what really got us started. And I'm going to put these notifications
Oh,
on.
you're good. You're good. I've got so many questions, but tax deed. So dumb it down you can dumb it down for me. I won't use anybody else. Dumb it down for Ted. You buy a tax deed. Explain what that means. What does that mean? What are you buying? And why is that valuable? Why is that important?
Oh yeah, I love talking about this stuff. I
I know you
love it.
do.
You're gonna have to cut me off, right? I just spoke at a Chase Bank event Saturday, and they were like, "All right, you gotta wrap it up now. It's awesome." But so there's 3 different classifications of a tax sale. 3 main types. There's more, but these are the 3 main ones you'll hear. You'll hear tax lien. A lien is just a claim on a property, right? So Florida is a hybrid state. We do have tax lien sales. Depending on what state you live in, will determine which type of sale is conducted. So with the tax lien, you go in there. Let's say Enrique doesn't pay his property taxes for 2 years. He owes $3,000. He'll get a message. Hey, Enrique, you got to pay your property taxes. You have until April 15th or May 15th, or we're selling it on lienhub.com to investors, right? So I can come in there and get that lien on Enrique's property for $3,000, but get this, with interest. So for Enrique, he'll have what we call a redemption period to pay me back that $3,000 plus interest to keep his home. Now, nothing about a lien says you're actually getting ownership. In some states, when that lien period expires, you do get ownership, but not in every state. So that's important to know. The next classification is the deed. This is the awesome sauce, right? Florida also has deed sales, and they're public, typically online. We have 67 counties. So I go into this public auction. This same property, Enrique didn't pay those property taxes. The lien holder actually, did the paperwork to force this public deed sale. So now I bid, and let's say I win for $5,000, right? There is no more redemption period. I won that deed. The deed shows ownership, possession. So I have the deed to that land. Yes, there could be a man-made structure on that land. Then we have to start talking about clearing title, but that's not a big deal, right? That's just another step. Now, the third thing you might hear about is redemption deed. These are states like Georgia, Texas. They typically hold their auctions mostly in person, first Tuesday of the month, right? When you go to a redemption deed sale, it's kind of like a hybrid between a lien and a deed almost. But let's say I win. There is still a redemption period. It's in the title. There's a redemption period, 6 months, 1 year, just depends on the state, where the owner can still come pay me back with interest, right? It's always with interest, all right? Always with interest. So if they don't pay me back with interest, then I get the deed. Unlike the lien, where I said the lien doesn't always say you're getting the deed, with a redemption deed, you're getting the deed. You're going to get the deed when they do not redeem. So those are the 3 common types of sales that you'll hear. Now, there's other things. There's sheriff sales, scavenger sales. Louisiana has adjudicated properties that you can find on civicsource.com. There's all types of tax sale. Even Puerto Rico has a tax sale. So it's some awesome stuff.
So fascinating. I mean, I I think that people are just afraid and they don't understand. But you've created a whole, and Enrique, jump in anytime. But yeah, I have lots of questions. You've created a whole program for this. This is not just you keeping all the information to yourself. You offer classes and instruction and education, and you have a team. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I'm the tax deed expert, but once I realized that there
You're the
was
wolf.
yeah, there was so much more to real estate investing that I didn't know in the beginning, right? So there's personal credit optimization, there's business credit, there's business structure, how to even file your taxes strategically, right? And then we jump into what to do with the money once you get access to the money. What's bad money, right? What's bad debt, right? How do we determine what's good debt? How do we even invest? What's cap rate? What's market cap? What's purchase cap? Cash on cash return, right? NOI. So then we kind of like got into all this stuff to help minimize our risk, how to ultimately cash flow. And then that also brought up the wealth, right? Why am I selling homes? There's no wealth in selling homes. And so then we're buying home with cash out refinance or get a HELOC and then use that. So all these things that kind of fit into this one picture. And that's why we started Tax Deed Wolf Academy. So when our students come in, it's not just me. I'll get the business credit experts, the Airbnb expert to teach a class, this expert come and we have it all in one. So they get everything from us, not just an online course either. We have classes weekly, right? So we have lifetime access. They get the online modules. They have the live weekly classes. We have 2 to 3 classes a week. And then they also have private group chats where they're never alone. They can ask questions. And we even have now where we provide deals, right? Not only do we have WolfPack Capital, of course, but we also have deals that our mentees can actually go close, and we walk them through not only, hey, just buy this, right? Not like a wholesaler or anything, hey, just buy this, but hey, look, this is a deal. These are the numbers. These are typically the numbers that you would look for. This is typically how we would do this deal. You fit this category, you qualify to get this, and cash flow at $1,000 a month with this much equity. Here's the plan, right? Do you want to proceed? So it's just been amazing. It's just been amazing.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
and that
think
piece is so vital for someone that is afraid or maybe doesn't have all the experience that you do, to have someone kind of like pre-qualify them, right, for this for this purchase and say, you're ready for it, let's go, and be able to do that transaction with a little more ease than maybe I would, that don't have that information.
Yeah, most people take a course and then they're still ultimately on their own.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you read a book. Yeah, I mean, it's cool you read a book, but do you want the doctor to perform a surgery on your heart that only read the book?
Yeah.
You know?
I think one of the things that my experience with tax deeds is that there wasn't really a voice in, especially in Central Florida. There's a couple of people who did it and that's what they professed to do, and they seemed to be successful about it. But it felt like there was no education about it. You didn't go to a tax deed class. You didn't have an opportunity to learn about it. They kept it very close to themselves and didn't share. But you're all about sharing. Look, I know it's a business model, but still, people can get in and learn something that can build them generational wealth, legacy, not have to work for the man, as us old people used to say. And yet it's something that also could turn around and get you to other businesses and allow you to travel and do the things that you want. There's a lot of options. Talk about OPM just a little bit, because I think people also talk about that a lot, but nobody ever explains how that actually works.
Oh man, I could talk about this forever. So first things first, a lot of people don't give the game because they only know one way to play it themselves, right? So like with me, I will give all the game, right? Hey, look, this is how you get on the auction. Go to your county clerk of court and then, find the tax sale list. If you can't find it, call them. There are numbers on the website. Get the site, use these apps, right? The real game here, a lot of people will go to auction and they won't win, right? I'm probably the reason for giving so many people this info. Now, prices do go up. But one thing that I do is I don't really go to auction anymore anyway, right? I use it as a leads list and I approach the property owners directly. So they sit down. Most Americans will just sit around and wait. sit around and wait for their opportunity, right? But a wolf like myself, like you, Ted, like Enrique, we will go create our own opportunities.
Right.
So I go directly to these property owners and I'll buy it from them directly. I'm not worried about any auctions. So that increases our chances tremendously of getting properties. So using that method, we got last year about 14 or 15 houses in Texas using that route in just Texas, right? So OPM, here's how we did it. And I said Texas because there's many types of OPM. We have credit cards, right? We do have loans, right? We have MLOs or commercial loan brokers. We have good debt out there, right? Whether you're using FHA, VA, whatever, any sort of loan package, right? What we also have that people don't realize, we have private money. You have the rich aunties, the rich uncles. You have the coworkers that you work with that have money, a whole bunch of money, absolutely no idea what to do with it. For me, it was doctors, right? A lot of money, absolutely no idea what to do with it, right? So we also had W-2 employees. What did they have? IRAs. And they had absolutely no idea that they could convert their IRA to self-directed and then go buy apartment complexes, right? They had absolutely no idea. So there's so many different types of private money out there. Once you get it, of course, knowing what to do with it. But these are some of the creative things that we've done to close deals. And then we have wholesaling, we have seller finance, right? I got a duplex, Ted, in Pennsylvania. No money down. I just seller finance. He agreed. The seller had two properties. He agreed that if we could sell one, then he would give us the other one on seller finance terms, 500 a month, right? This is a 6-bedroom duplex. So we sold the other one because he couldn't sell it. He could not sell it for like over a year. We got it sold in like 3 weeks. Sold that, and then now I got a duplex for 500 a month on seller finance terms.
Wow.
Yeah, no interest, right? We talk about mortgage compounding interest. This one has no interest. So good money versus appropriate versus less appropriate. I don't believe in right or wrong, but I believe in
Right.
appropriate investing versus less appropriate.
Get it.
I wanted to ask you, Joseph, in terms of your military background, what attributes from that service time that you gain that you think helped you in this transition of doing this type of business?
One thing we did in the Army, or we said in the Army, was embrace the suck, right? And I have a tattoo on me that says fail fast and move on, right? So the biggest lesson was adversity. It was adversity. And I think in today's day and age, we have so much social media, we have so much illusions of what real life is.
Right.
The couples that seem to have it all good on Instagram, but behind closed doors, they're probably going through the same stuff that you and your spouse are going through, right? So adversity, understanding that crap happens, it's just a matter of getting around those obstacles when they come. So, I've had contractors run off on me. I've made bad investments. I've purchased properties that had liens on them, right? I've lost money, but the only thing is most people quit their first loss. I just didn't quit. I now have the stats of, 150 to 13 versus someone will just take their go 0-1 and then give up. So that's the only difference.
That's great. That's a great question, Enrique. All right, before we wrap it up, this is a show about heroes, and of course, I think of you and Enrique as heroes serving our country. When I say the word hero to you, who's the first person who comes to mind?
Oh, that's a really good question. So, man, when I hear hero, there's not any one person that comes to mind. It's more of like a Justice League type of thing in my head. So when I hear hero, I think who's giving back to the people, who's taking care of the people. So what that means in my eyes is, hey Ted, are you're hosting events, you're hosting a podcast to put out knowledge to everyone, right? Oh, Enrique, you're doing this, right? So the heroes in my books are the ones who aren't just keeping things to themselves, but are actually out there trying to help others. That's a hero in my book.
I love that answer. I've never had that one. That's a
That's new.
great answer.
He put me on the
All
spot.
right. Tell them, Joseph, the best way they can find out about Tax Deed Wolf and all of the good things you are doing. I do have your beacon page scrolling across there, but give them your website or any other information you want to give them.
Yep. If you want to reach out, you want to learn more about tax deed investing or anything that I just mentioned, you can find me at taxdeedwolfacademy.com or Tax Deed Wolf on basically any platform. We do have a YouTube channel that's Tax Deed Wolf as well. We have a ton of free content, webinars. I mean, we do constant free webinars, speak at multiple events throughout the year, podcasts. So just connect. You can also book a call with our team if you're someone that really wants to dive into this thing and you don't want to go waste thousands of dollars like I had to do in the beginning. Then definitely book a call with us, and we'll consult with you, figure out what's going to be the best strategy for you, and we'll walk you step by step through doing that.
Love it. I always love spending time with you, my friend. Thank you so much. Thank you for your service. You too, Enrique. If you have a hero out there who you think should be on the show, we'd love to hear from you. We love to spotlight our veterans, and we love to share success stories so that they can be motivated, inspired, and maybe reach out to do the thing that they should be doing. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day, everyone. Bless you both. We'll see you next time on Heroes Always Welcome.